unbeatable firepower. Merciless birds in the sky that swoop down on the target and bomb the enemy. That's how armed one would think our forces are. But here's the shocker.
The Indian Air Force's armory is full of duds, missiles that don't work and bombs that don't explode.
Specifically, the Harpy missile procured from Israel for a whopping 750 crores lies useless after it developed direction trouble. Next, the Popeye 2 missile that cost 350 crore rupees. An air-to-surface missile that never even passed the initial test since the wings were found faulty. The Sea Eagle, a subsonic anti-ship missile which cost close to 120 crores, is no longer usable as the components are not available. And anti-radiation missiles, some of which were procured from Russia, have malfunction seekers, parts that are used to seek out the target.
Many foreign weapon systems tested in very pristine conditions just don't seem to be effective in India. And yet, there are indigenous weapon systems that have failed as well.
Sitapal, the cluster bomb, is not in use since the key components became unavailable. And finally, the 450 kg high-speed,
whether it is for the Navy or for the Army and all, if it is beyond a shelf life, if it goes beyond its, planned shelf life, then there could be inaccuracies.
an armory of junk and a nation to defend. Is anyone listening to our brave soldiers? Featuring Joy Chaudhary, New Delhi, Shruti Pandale, Times Now.
India really ready for a war? The Controller and Auditor General in his latest report paints a dismal picture. Half of India's submarine fleet is in disrepair and a grossly inadequate 30-year-old radar network leaves the country extremely vulnerable to enemy bombardment. Vishal Thapar has more.
Is India ready for war? The Controller and Auditor General has grave doubts. His latest audit report on the armed forces comes up with two stunning disclosures. One, that more than half of India's submarines are not battle-worthy. And two, that its radars are too old and too few to provide any credible defense against an air attack. The report reveals that at any time, only 48% of Indian Navy's aging submarines are available for waging war should India be attacked. The rest are in repair and refit. Age is such an issue that 50% of the submarines are in the last stages of their prescribed life. 63% of the fleet would be ready for phase out by 2012. Also, the numbers of these old submarines are way below approved force levels. India's fleet of an estimated 16 submarines is just 67% of numbers approved 23 years ago. The bad news doesn't end there. The CAG has now confirmed an earlier report by CNN-IBN that the Navy's main strike weapon, the submarine-launched club missile, is malfunctioning. Too old, too few. It's much the same story with radars at the heart of India's air defenses, which are based on an outdated 37-year-old plan. Shortage of key radars was to the tune of 76%, making India particularly vulnerable to air attacks. The CAG report is a warning that the lack of nimbleness in India's defense planning and procurements can be exploited by an enemy. It is also an indictment of the lack of hygiene and common sense in India's defense acquisition process. In New Delhi, Vishal Thapar.